The Collared Peccary is a new animal added to Planet Zoo to celebrate the 4th anniversary of the game. And of course, I just had to build a habitat for it in the Elm Hill City Zoo. So join me as we build a realistic habitat for it, inspired by different exhibits from all around the world. Hello guys, this is Cesar Creates, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome back to the Elm Hill City Zoo. Planet Zoo celebrated its 4th anniversary this week by adding the Collared Peccary to the game, and of course I just had to add it to our zoo. It's hard to believe that Planet Zoo is already 4 years old, and I am actually uploading this video today on its exact anniversary. So Planet Zoo was released on 5th November 2019, and today we have 5th November 2023 if you are watching this video on a date of its premiere. So it's been 4 years of this incredible game, and I feel like with every year it is getting better and better, and I just cannot wait what the next year is holding for us, because I am pretty sure that it's not over yet. By the way, it's been 4 years since the game came out, and it will be 3 years of my channel soon. So we'll also have a little anniversary celebration at the end of November, where it will be 3 years since uploading the first video here on my channel, which is also a bit crazy to think about. Yes, I was a little late when it comes to starting the channel based around Planet Zoo, if by little you can mean 1 year. but yeah, I definitely need to come up with something to celebrate the 3 years of my channel. This is a bit crazy to think about. But for now, let's go back to our new anniversary animal, the Collared Peccary, and let's go back to talking about the habitat that I will build for it today. Planet Zoo actually teased it a bit by adding a very short, sneaky video to their social media a day before releasing the animal with, some little small hoofs running there. So we could actually guess by the shape of the hoofs that it will be a new swine. And of course, we tried to guess what species it will be. It sort of looked like a peccary or a wild boar, and it turned out to be a peccary, which I am very happy about, because I was a bit afraid that we won't actually get this animal, because it was a perfect contender both for the grasslands animal pack, where it wasn't included, and also for the arid animal pack, where it also was absent from this pack. So I was a bit thinking, okay, if we haven't got the peccary at this point, what are the chances that we still will get it? And I really wanted to have it in game, because I've seen it in so many zoos. It is such a popular zoo animal, one of the zoo staples. I think they are very easy to breed in captivity. I think that they do well in zoos. I was really missing the species, especially that it is another species from South America, and the South America, I think, is one of the continents that is lacking the most. We are still missing so many iconic species from South America, like greater rhea, like maras, like maybe another species of tapir, a lot of smaller monkeys like marmosets, tamarins, and other very popular zoo animals like guanacos, spectacled bear, coatis, ocelots. Those are animals that are really often kept at zoos, and I feel like Planet Zoo is missing a bit. And for me on this list was also a species of peccary, and right now we have it in the game finally. There are 3 different species of peccaries. The Collared Peccary that we got is the most common one, and it is also the most widespread one, because it lives in the South America, the Central America, and in a part of the Northern America. There's also a white-lipped peccary that I also saw in some zoos. It lives in the South America and part of the Central America, and it is a vulnerable animal. And there is also a Checoan peccary that is endemic endangered and it lives in only small part of South America. So them going for the Collared Peccary, I think it makes sense because it is the most popular of them all, and it also is the most widespread one that lives in a number of different biomes. So I think that for Planet Zoo it makes sense because it is so much more versatile. I mean, you can use it for different areas in your zoos dedicated to different continents, for example North America or South America. You can use it in the tropical sections, you can use it for tropical houses, but you can also use it for the desert sections and desert houses. When I think about the peccary myself, I think that I associate this animal more with like arid climates, like with grasslands. So this is also what I wanted to go for while building a habitat for those guys. I don't know if you remember, but after the Grasslands Animal Pack was released, we started this little grassland South American section in the Elm Hill City Zoo. It is situated behind the elephant and rhino house, and in there we already had the maned wolf, the anteater, and also the 9-banded armadillo, and I had this perfect space there that I was saving for a new animal that I assumed will be added, and I remember specifically thinking that this space would be perfect for the peccaries, and here they are. So I was super happy when this was like announced officially that we are getting peccaries. I immediately thought about this particular place in the Elm Hill City Zoo and their new habitat, how it will look. So it was simply time to build for them. The peccary was so high on my wish list. If you watch the animals that are missing in Planet Zoo video that is available on my channel, by the way, it has almost 100,000 views, which is so mind-blowing to me. But yeah, it was included there, and I especially included the Collared Peccary on my in my video. So I am very happy that they added it finally. And yeah, so let's talk about the habitat, what I was going for, what I thought while building it, and so on. So while preparing for building this habitat, I actually went through some photos that I did myself during my zoo visits, and I found some peccary habitats that I saw. By the way, most of those photos are available on my Instagram account. They are saved in the highlights, so if you guys would like to go there and find some maybe inspiration for your own builds, there's a lot of footage from different zoos that I visited, so I really recommend to go and see that. The link to my profile, Instagram profile, is down in the description. So I was partially inspired by Berlin Zoo and their white-lipped peccary enclosure, the Tier Park Berlin, also my local zoo in Gdańsk, and also the San Diego Zoo, and those are the zoos that I saw them in recently. And also I of course went online and I looked at the enclosures that I was able to find on different sites and so on, and my conclusion is that peccaries, they have like typical swine or pig enclosure that you'll find in almost every zoo. So it is very plain with barely no plants, some logs, some like mud, and that's all. This is all due to that the pigs, they eat all of the vegetations, and they also dig using their snouts because I believe that they like to eat the roots of the plant, so they are digging for those roots, and that's how it is very hard for the plants to grow in their habitats. I read that the peccaries are relatively very clean and not so destructive compared to other swines. I need to be careful because I am often calling the peccaries pigs, and they are actually not pigs, but they are related to pigs. They are in the swine family, but there are of course some more fancy habitats for the peccaries, such as one in Netherlands in Berger Zoo, I believe. They have this really cool like desert house or desert dome, anything like that, and the peccaries there have a really beautiful enclosure. And also I found a really like a cool enclosure for the peccaries in the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha. It is also in some like desert dome or anything like that, and obviously I didn't want to build a desert dome for peccaries or anything like that. I wanted to go for a typical peccary zoo enclosure that will be plain, that will be a bit muddy, that will have some logs and stuff like that. And this is what I simply went for. By the way, I found out that the peccaries are also very often kept with the coatis. Is this some kind of clue when it comes to the future DLC of Planet Zoo? I don't know, maybe one day we'll actually get the coati and it will be so amazing. This animal is also so high on my wish list. But finally, when it comes to the exhibit. So as I told you guys, I had this space saved for the animal like a peccary or something that we would get in the future, and it is finally time to fill it in. While looking at the space, I realized that it might be a bit too big for the peccaries for their size. They would simply just disappear in this large enclosure, so I had to somehow make it smaller in the same space. So I decided to go for something that we did for example, the Adax antelope not so long ago. So we will just surround the whole enclosure with a lot of different plants and do like those sneak peeks in between the higher bushes, where the guests will be actually able to see the peccaries. Thanks to all those plants on the sides, I was able to make the enclosure a bit small. It is still very big for the peccaries, but I think the size is more like accurate to the sizes of the enclosures that I saw in different zoos. The entire enclosure is a bit lowered compared to the level of the path, but it is more lowered on the sides, and in the middle it is still like a bit raised so that the peccaries are a bit at the same level as with the guests. I remember that for animals like pigs, I don't know if it's also for the peccaries, it is very important that the guests are not looking for the animals from the up above, because the pigs cannot look up. So if they cannot look up, they cannot see who is like watching them. They can be very stressed by this. They can be spooked by a loud noise that they don't know where it is coming from. I don't know if the peccaries cannot also look up, but I still didn't want to make it very like lowered. If they will be in the center of the enclosure, they will be able to see all the guests around the habitat. So this shouldn't be a problem. What I also realized while building this is that we have the maned wolves really close to this enclosure, and not to make the peccaries too stressed about the presence of the maned wolf so close to them, I decided to like block the view a bit where those glass viewing panels for the maned wolves are, with some bushes, plants and so on, so that the peccaries cannot actually see the maned wolf enclosure. I don't know if the maned wolf would actually attack the peccary, but I think that peccary looking at the maned wolf, it can actually get spooked or, you know, stressed. So I didn't want to make them stressed by this. So for the walls surrounding the entire enclosure, I used the stone pieces from the tropical pack, those Indonesian stone pieces. I really love the texture of them. I think that it looks so amazing, and after I will also add some decals to them so they look a bit more dirty, muddy. I'm sure that the peccaries would use them to scratch or something, so they will get very dirty over time. I of course wanted to give the peccaries the mud bath. I think that pigs and swines, they just love mud, so I added 4 of those I think in this enclosure. One is like in the center, and then I thought to myself, okay, we have this mud bath at the high point of the exhibit, and it doesn't really make sense because water would actually accumulate somewhere in this like I don't know, moat or ditch that we have around. So I decided to add 3 more, and they are like blended with the terrain there, so only like bits are sticking out, but still the peccaries are all able to go there. I then added tons of different rocks. I added some plants, but not too many. Still, I was trying to go for a realistic look of the peccary habitat, so I also added a lot of different logs because I saw that they always have some logs, probably from some scratches and stuff like that. I of course added enrichment items. I added some feeders. I added a lot of decals on the ground for a really cool texture of the entire habitat. I was really inspired by my work for the Red River Hawks. I found that, you know, I really love the Red River Hawk enclosure for the zoo. I think that this is one of my best enclosures in the zoo, one of my favorites. And so I used some bits and pieces from that. After all that, it was time to build a shelter. We had 2 shelters already in this little area, the South American area for the maned wolves and anteaters and for the armadillo. So I wanted to build something similar to, you know, make this whole area cohesive, but still I wanted to give it a bit of a twist so it's not identical. I created my own like base of the building using the pieces from the Twilight pack. I also changed the colors of the wood, so it's a bit more like I don't know, grayish. I think that this color actually looks better than the one that I used for the different buildings, so I might change them. I didn't include speed builds for making the interior because the camera movements were just crazy. I will of course showcase it all in the cinematics by the end of the video. And I also created a little food trough inspired by one of the food troughs by Leader and his blueprints with different feeders. So I really love those food troughs, and I think that this is something typical for different pigs and swine. So I think it suits so well to this habitat. Okay, and this was basically all. I would like to thank you guys for watching this episode. I would like to thank you guys for sticking up with me, so for being patient, for waiting for the new episodes. I got so many messages asking for new episodes, so thank you for those. I was just a bit busy with my life. Yeah, I wasn't able to upload. I am also working on a very big project right now for a big video that will be probably coming out next week, so I hope you guys will stay tuned and watch it. Thank you for tuning in every time. I know that those speed builds videos are a bit less like I don't know, popular at the moment. People here are coming up with different video ideas, which is so cool, but it's just, you know, it's a lot of crazy editing that is basically not my vibe. I still love those videos, don't get me wrong, but I am more for like quality of the builds over hours spent for, you know, editing the video, which I very admire people for, you know, editing those videos in this way because it takes so much time. But I would rather, you know, spend my time on building something really cool and doing the things that you guys know me of doing, so just speed builds with the commentary, with the highly detailed builds instead of highly detailed editing. I am very happy for this every time I see the numbers, so thank you guys so much. It really means the world to me that you are still watching, even though Planet Zoo is already 4 years old. Every time I upload a new Planet Zoo video, you guys are always showing up, so thank you so much. Okay, and with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video again. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you are not subscribed yet to my channel, please consider to do so. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and of course, leave me a nice comment if you enjoyed today's video. If you like to support the channel a little bit extra, you can do it with the join button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!